What's up everyone? Thanks for joining me for another music production tutorial. This one is a very special one because I'm going to be showing you how to make tech house music. I'm using Ableton, but the same principles and arrangement can be applied in other DAWs. There are some free samples in the link in the description of this video to make it easier for you to follow along. Before we get into it, make sure that you smash that like and subscribe button so that you know when I've created some other awesome music production tutorials. In fact, you can do that right now. I'll wait. We'll all wait for you. Just kidding. Alright, let's get into some music making. Drag a drum rack onto the first MIDI track, and then duplicate it twice by holding Alt and dragging. Rename the tracks kick, clap and snare, and hi-hats. Drag your samples for the kick, clap, snare, and hi-hats into the relevant drum racks. In order to get started in the piano roll, you first need to add a MIDI clip. Hit Command-Shift-M to add it. I'm on a Mac, so Command equals Control on a Windows. When you're in the piano roll, make sure you click this little headphone icon to enable sounds when you click the notes. We're going for a very standard 4 to the floor kick drum pattern. Moving on to the clap and snare. To make this clap and snare pattern a little bit less generic, add a few extra MIDI notes here to the end of this beat pattern. To reduce the length of the MIDI clip, you can drag down here. Moving on to the hi-hats. I usually set this up like this. We'll also shorten the length of this MIDI clip. Next, we're going to work on the bass. We're going to be working with Massive to get the sound that we want. I created a preset and put the link in the description of this video. Add another MIDI track. We're going to be using Serum to layer the bass, which will make the bass line even thicker. Oh yeah. Woo. Woo. Give it to me. Add another MIDI track. Create another MIDI clip. And then add one long note to B. For this next sound, we're going to be using Serum again. I created another preset. You know where it is. This one's called Mad Saw, because this thing's crazy. But we're going to calm it down a bit. Configure the LFO rate. Show the automation line. Add a node and make it slower at the end and faster in the beginning. Next, let's add some noise. So it's really easy to create noise in Serum. And I know what you're thinking. Isn't it all just noise? No, I'm shocked. We're going to be making a special kind of noise. All you need to do is enable noise and disable everything else. Adjust the pitch and the level, and that's it. You're done. Just kidding, there's one more key part to this. And that's sidechaining. Sidechain the glue compressor to the kick drum. And lower the threshold. Now it's going to pulsate to the beat. Yes, thank you. Let's adjust the timing of this MIDI clip to create more space in the beginning. Moving on, let's extend our track by copying the drum beat from the first 8 bars. Next, let's add a crash sample. Copy it over here and then reverse it to get a rising effect. We'll copy this over one more time, but this time over here. Now we have a transition. Okay, copy the glue compressor from the track above this and paste it on this one. We're going to sidechain most of the sounds in the song like this. If you want to learn more about how to sidechain, click the link appearing on your screen right now. Moving right along, add another MIDI track. Either create your own melody or import this one that I'm using that I've included in the description of this video. For this sound we need a sound, and for that we're going to use, you guessed it, Serum. Going back to our Mad Saw, which is our pretty tame saw now, create another MIDI clip, add a note to B, and then drag it out. Drag it out. Drag it out. Yeah. This time around, I don't want any of the noise, so I'm going to configure Serum to automate the noise level down over here, so that we can keep it in the beginning of the song. We're also going to automate the LFO rate once again, this time starting it off slow, and then speeding it up. Only slightly though. Now it's time to add some effects. Add reverb to the clap and snare MIDI track. Change it from high cut to low cut, then make it drier. Copy and paste the reverb onto the hi-hats. Next we're going to add the EQ8 effect. From the first drop down, choose this option and increase the frequency. What we're doing is we're cutting the low end out, reserving that space for the bass line and the kick drum. The clap, snare and hi-hats are fairly high pitched when compared to the kick drum. Cutting out the low end creates space for the bass and the kick, making them seem more powerful. Copy the EQ8 effect onto other higher pitched instruments in the composition. Next, let's automate the reverb for the clap, snare and hi-hats, changing it from wet to dry over the first 8 bars. We're going to come back to the reverb and EQ because you really need to listen and see how this sounds in relation to the other sounds in the song. Copy a glue compressor from one of your other audio tracks, paste it onto the bass line. The bass line is going to be driving our track, so we don't want to take too much volume away from it. Let's remove a few beats here at the end to create a bit of a drop. As you can see, I love using automations. They create contrast in your song. It's amazing. Automations tell the knobs on your dials to turn from one position to the next. They're like your little minions. Let's automate some of the knobs in Massive next. Hit configure to start choosing what dials to automate. We can adjust the cutoff here to increase the strength of the notes played. We can add a few notes here and here. What I usually like to do is open the cutoff and then have a sudden drop. So it opens up and then wham, goes back to that punchy bass line. We can repeat this every 4 bars, but really it's up to your taste. We can also adjust the attack speed in envelope 1. This creates a whop effect. Whop, 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 whop. Now that sounds dirty. Let's automate this. Come on, little minion. I want you to get slower here, then faster, then slower, then faster. Perfect. Hear how the sound evolves, making it much more interesting. Now let's EQ the low end. Add the EQ8 effect onto the bass line. Go to number 8, from the drop down, click this option. This just means how strict it is. It's not going to let anything past this point. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to saturate all of our sounds to give it more color and some more drive. And then we're literally going to copy and paste this onto all the other MIDI and audio tracks. Copy the EQ8 that's restricting the high end and paste it onto all the low end MIDI track channels. Something that I should have probably started off with, but I'm including it now. Because better late than never, right? You should start off with all your MIDI and audio track channels at about -4 to -6 dB. This way you can increase the volume when you need. It creates more clarity in your mix and makes it a bit easier to hear the individual sounds. Alright, on to adding some vocals. I see you flying, I see you sliding, I see you gliding. You'll find these vocal samples down in the description along with everything else. First up on here we have CLA vocals by Wave. This really enhances the quality of the vocals. And then to make it sound deeper and to lower the formants, we have Little Altar Boys.
I see you gliding, I see you driving.
Last but not least, to make sure the vocals are on the same key of the song, Mulder Productions, M Auto Pitch.
I see you flying, I see you sliding, I see you gliding, I see you driving, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you driving. I see you.
And that's how you make tech house music. If you feel like I missed something, let me know down in the comments and I will respond. I would love to hear from you. And if you found any sort of value in this video, again, remember to hit that like and subscribe button and enable notifications so that you know when I've released some new tutorials. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.
I see you. I see you flying, I see you sliding, I see you gliding.